I thought I would give you a little video tour of my garden as I transition from the spring crops to the full-on summer crops. So this is what we call the south bed, which actually gets the least sunlight. This is the middle bed. It's also 4 feet wide. And this is what we call the north bed, which gets the most sunlight. And this one's 3 feet wide by 10 feet. They're all 10 feet long. So in this one here, actually have my little cucumber patch set up. I'm still sort of setting it up. You can see I have one still in the container there. But we do have cucumbers and pickling cucumbers already growing. And as you can see, the flowers are coming out, looking good. Over here is the last of my spring lettuces, which have all pretty much bolted. I'm going to let a few of these go to seed. Here's the peas for this year, which kind of went crazy. We still have some peas that we're harvesting. There's one there. But this plant is pretty much done. We're going to be pulling it out very soon. There's another little nice one there. And I have some of my tomatoes in already. As you can see, they're already up to about 6 feet. Here's some fruit forming. Those are speckled Romans. They're plum style tomatoes that will have the red with yellow streaks. And this one is what's called a black prince. They're still young. Now, middle bed. Just planted some lettuce here. I'm going to try something called high intensity lettuce growing, but as you can see, my spacing sucks. So I may have to give that a go again. Here's one small patch of garlic. It's 8 cloves. I actually pulled one this morning. Looked really good. Got more tomatoes in the ground here. As you can see, I'm letting some stuff go to seed so I can collect the seed. Here, this is, I believe, an arugula plant. And there are the seed pods forming. Pretty cool. Over here, this is a mustard plant. And these little tendrils will be the seed pods. They still have to get bigger. All right, again, more tomatoes. These are your standard Maranzano Roma tomatoes. Over here I got some yellow heirlooms that are forming. They always have the weird shape. What's this one here? That one is Carbon M43. It's a variety I bought a couple of years ago that produced well last year. And over there is actually more of the Black Prince, which last year was our favorite, so we're growing a lot of it this year. Move forward a bit. There's another garlic patch, and if you can see, I intertwined celery in between it, which turned out to be a bit of a mistake because celery needs lots of water and garlic needs no water near the end of its life. So I'm trying to manage that. The thing is, the garlic, it may actually work out because the celery draws so much water out of the soil that it actually helps keep the garlic dry. So it's sort of working. Now here in front is what I call my cherry tomato patch. These are all cherry tomatoes in here. And let's bring you in close. This one is a Lodi grape. There's the sign. And they're probably the biggest of the cherries. Hey Jack, want to say hi? Over here is a chocolate cherry. Those are forming. In there are sweet millions. More sweet millions. Let's see what else we got here. There, actually got some color showing. This one is Sweet Million as well. Sweet Million is probably the most popular cherry tomato. Super easy to grow. They always produce. As you can see in there, I got more black cherry. Now, over on this side, you can see I pulled one garlic just to see what it looks like. It looked good. This is our onion patch. All of these onions were grown from seed. And I planted them in stages, so you can see these ones here are still pretty small. Although there's one that's forming up a double head. That's a shallot. Over here are the ones I planted much earlier. You can see that they are forming the balls nicely, but they still have about a month to go at least. I planted them pretty close. I followed a couple of different guidelines. That's a shallot. You can actually see it's forming multiple cloves. And we're happy with the performance of them this year. Now over here, I just pulled out our parsnips. No, sorry, turnips. I always confuse parsnips and turnips. Just pulled out our parsnips and turnips and planted some fennel, some endive, and some carrots. There is last year's leeks. 2 I'm letting go to seed. Plus, they're putting up their little bulbils near the ground. You can actually see them coming out. So when they go to seed, when they form the seed caps, they also form little bulbils underneath the soil, and that's what happens. It's an experiment, just trying to see. So I've left these ones in. That one too, because it's going to seed. Now, our new leeks for the fall are all planted. There you go. And back here are the parsnips. There, parsnips. And we're still letting those go. We have beets back here which aren't doing great. This area gets very little sun, so that's a problem. Up here, potatoes in bags, and fennel. The fennel bolted on me a bit, so we're mainly using the fronds. There's maybe 1 or 2 usable ones in there, but the problem is we had a cool spring with a really warm week or two, then it went back to cool, and that kind of forces fennel to bolt when it has warm then cold, or like cold, warm, cold, or something like that. Anyways, that's my excuse. Up here, we have some carrots going on. Carrots here as well. That's actually my next planting of carrots, just coming out. And this looks like celery. It almost is celery, but I don't know if you can see because they haven't formed yet. But look, it's, can you see down there? That's celery root. So we're going to be harvesting that for the roots. And then I have another little onion patch here. These onions I grew from sets. All those onions over there grew from seed. Seed is definitely producing bigger bulbs. Very happy with it. The sets are okay. We got a few big ones, but most of them have stayed small. Second round of potatoes. We already harvested these warbas as new potatoes, and I just put a second batch in these 3 bags. Last thing I'll show you over here is we have tomatoes and potatoes growing in 10 gallon jugs. This one is just massive. Wow. Up the stairs. No color yet, but we have lots of fruit production. I'm a little bit worried about the nutrients on this one, so I've actually been feeding it calcium and a little bit of Epsom salts. And I normally don't fertilize much, but this one I put fertilizer in, plus more and more compost. See how it does. And lastly, 2 more potato patches in bags. So here's the bag. These ones are both fingerling potatoes. We've already dug into the bag a bit. You can actually see that's my handiwork. And the fingerlings are about the size of a finger right now, so almost ready to harvest. There you go. Small garden tour.